Good evening. My name is Alejandra Ortiz. I am the editor of the Gender Diversity of El Espectador, one of the oldest newspapers in Colombia. I am in charge of producing a channel for equality to talk about feminism. Here by my side, we have one of our journalists. The intention of this speech is that we wanted to tell you about a journalistic special for about abortion for migrant and black women in Colombia. It is known that Colombia is one of the Latin American countries which has a pioneer rulement regarding the criminalization of abortion. It is possible to do it up to week 24 of pregnancy. This has helped to create different protocols for attention, but this happens in centers, in places that are like very urban with institutional access which is robust. So we wanted to show the other side of the companies, what happens when abortion is limited, not from the institution but from the different barriers. We decided to do that in one traditional media of Colombia. So Luisa is one of the persons in charge of this section, together with Mariana Escobar. She's going to tell us about what she found. She went to Chocó, to La Guajira, and to Valle de Aburrá in Antioquia to see how was access to abortion. And tell us about it. First, I want to tell you that we're going to deny that in Colombia we are really happy for all the things we have had regarding progress. But we also asked the question from the newspaper, what does it mean when you are not a woman from a big city and you live far away? So for that, we went to different territories. We were with one of the largest communities of the Guayú community in La Guajira. The other place is Chocó, and the other place is Antioquia, which is a department which is flood of political violence and armed conflict, and also cataloged as one of the most conservative departments. We found different barriers. One is that different organizations told us that even though in Colombia abortion is legal, there are basically many barriers so that women can have an abortion in Colombia. That comes from the communities that really do not allow them. They just cannot do it. The barriers that are more acute. We talk about poor women. We talk about women that belong to a indigenous community, and we also found that even though abortion is legal in Colombia, it is really criminalized. 2 years after the abortion was decriminalized, that criminalization increased 13%, and that is a lot for a country that apparently has this right. If I wanted to deepen in something, for example, when transferred to the territories and they found big barriers to have access to the information, then we went territory per territory trying to talk with women that were imposed any kind of barrier. And we found they didn't want to talk about the subject. There was any possibility that they were able to talk about in a camera. That's where we, even though this space of Las Igualadas is now popular through social media, we are part of a social house like El Espectador, where there is more massive language, which is a bit more outside the feminist ideas. We didn't want to have re-victimization, but to tell those experiences was really a professional challenge. We had deep discussions on how we're going to tell that that, and how we're going to guarantee privacy, considering that if this goes out in a massive newspaper, that may have some consequences in their communities and their own concept of life. So we talked with the design team, and we asked, what do we want? Do we want maybe we may want some sound landscapes, but we maybe want to make visible their voices. We wanted them to tell the story, but in addition, as we are also visual, and now everything with social media allows us to get close visually, we decided to create some illustrations, some animation that were able to help us to get closer to the people. That was the professional challenge that we had, and so we were able to get the testimonies after many months of work. So please tell me, Luisa, how was it with the YU community and in Chocó, where you were not able to get more people? We have a lot of contact with the community of Chocó. It was difficult to have people that would talk about their testimony, and the only way was to get feminist organizations. We found that most of the abortions in a country which are legal are self-managed because they cannot have access to services. But in addition, they do not have all the tools to attend people in advanced stages of pregnancy. We also found in La Guajira is that women, even though they have their abortion and the Constitution says that we must respect that right, there are some internal laws that forbid them to have an abortion, and basically they are excluded from the territory and they have to pay for taking that right. And finally, we also found in Medellin and in Antioquia a migrant woman that, even though the constitutional code protect them, and they have said that migrant women can have an abortion, they have not to be linked to any legal system. They can have access to this possibility, but she was found that at least 4 systems denied that access, and the only one it was possible, it was because a feminist network helped her. So we find that the only way to have access to abortion in these faraway territories is thanks to the feminist groups, to the collectives that decide to help, because as we can see, they have to exert their right, but in addition, they are accompanied when they cannot have access. Thank you very much, Luis. And now to finalize and to round up the idea, this is the way how we build a special note to reach multiple audiences with a title which made with talked about all these barriers that women have in the territories, but also it was also called Geography of Silence. This is something that captivates and that allows us to get to more people. Traditional means can bet different people to arrive more people with gender, and by protecting the division of people who may be in difficult contexts. Now, this can be given from traditional means to be able to break stigmas around what is not mentioned, and what we call this is not mentioned. So thank you for the space. Please visit the special. This is one of the most interesting notes that we've done, and we are really proud of this.